Alright, so just an update on the 81 K10. Ran into a problem. This front converter seal on the transmission started leaking, and so tore it down, and what happened was the bushing, I don't know if you can see it, get some more light. You see that bushing right past the seal? Here. See if you can see better over here. This is a pump off of a, actually, I'll show you on this one. Off this busted transmission. Okay. See, this one's dirty, but right there, that bushing, torque converter slides in here, rods on that bushing. That bushing worked out, and this seal has been removed on this one, but that bushing worked its way out up against the seal and caused the seal to leak. Now, so what caused the bushing to work its way out? I had a vibration, and I was trying to figure out what was causing it, and now I know what was causing it. Well, theory, either the torque converter was off balance, or wobbling, or something, or the flywheel. And I did put a new flywheel in it when I went together with it. But something, either the flywheel or the torque converter, caused that bushing to work its way out. And that bushing was kind of, looked kind of beat up, you know, like the converter had beat it up. So, got a, and that was a rebuilt converter. This transmission had 2,400 miles on it. It was rebuilt about 9 years ago. I don't know where they got the converter, but I do know that it was a rebuilt one. And the transmission, of course, has been rebuilt, and that pump had been rebuilt. So, pump is got a new bushing in it, and that bushing is Loctited in just to make sure that it will not work its way out. And of course, a new seal, and everything else looks okay. That bushing's still okay, and everything else in the pump's still okay. So, new seal right there, and of course I got a new gasket to go. That goes right behind here. So that's got to go back in the transmission, and of course the rebuilt torque converter. And I went ahead, I took my flywheel back, and I upgraded to the HD one, which it looks the same, just a little bit thicker. So maybe I don't know if there's anything wrong with the other one, but I didn't want to risk it, you know. Don't want to have to pull the transmission again. So this was only $8 more. So heavy duty, thicker flywheel. And let's see. I don't know if you can. I'll go ahead and show you on this pump too. This is actually off of a 350C, but this pump, I mean this bushing, it kind of, well, no, it's still flush. You can see it in there, how close the bushing, you can see that shiny bushing. Let's see, get where you can see real good. You can see that bushing right behind, or right below. There you got it. The seal, and it just worked its way out against the seal, caused it to leak. Like I said, this is a 350C, so it's a different pump. This is a lockup torque converter pump. And got that. There's a 350C torque converter. And that pump, torque converter, and everything's junk. It had so much metal go through it. I wouldn't trust it for anything. And it's different. And then up under the truck, I'll show you. Well, first of all, let's see. We use these It's probably 16, 18 inches. All thread, double nutted on the end to be able to tighten it down. Use those and threaded them into the bottom transmission bolt holes in the block before we removed all the transmission bolts. And if I was just doing the flywheel, it would have worked perfect, or the torque converter, because it allowed me, with the all thread going through that hole, into the block, it allowed me to slide the transmission back enough to get the torque converter and the flywheel off, but didn't have enough room to get the pump out, so I ended up having to take all thread out and pull the transmission back further. The engine wouldn't go down far enough. I was hitting that transmission tunnel, and it would not drop any further. So I had to pull that out. But I can use those to align it when I go back together and make it a lot easier to go back together. And of course you see no flywheel. And there's the inside of the transmission. So, the transmission that has 2,400 miles on it. So I'm hoping when I go back together with it that there will be no vibration. And it looks like my rear main seal is leaking a little bit. Like I said, the motor and transmission have about 2,400 miles on them, but the transmission was rebuilt about 9 years ago, and the motor about 8. So those seals probably a little dried out. But 2-piece rear main, and most of them leak anyway. So, just a quick update, kind of taking a few steps back, I guess. Oh, and I got a new pan gasket, so when I get it all back together, I'll pull the pan on it and make sure there's no crap in the pan and clean it out and put the pan back on. So, but yeah, huge transmission leak. You can see the exhaust pipe over there is black from the transmission fluid that got slung on it. I was actually driving it, didn't realize it was leaking. It was at night. And pulled up to a stop sign and felt the transmission slip. Crap. But I was close to home. I was like a mile from home. It made it home. No problem. So, anyway, looks like I got something right up there I need to clean out. It was like rust. I guess from the pump or something. And the rest of the transmission still looks nice. So, hopefully we'll be okay. I don't see any other signs of problems. So, and yep. Transmission jack under the pan of the transmission. Then 2 jacks under the cross member. And the exhaust is undone to keep it from binding. And we tilted the engine back. But the distributor was all the way up against the flywheel. The firewall. Distributor was all the way up against the firewall, and it still wasn't enough clearance to allow the transmission to slide back far enough. So, anyway, thanks for watching, and hopefully it'll be back on the road soon. To pressure wash it in the rear when I get done. It's nasty, coated in transmission fluid.